Hello again, BMW collectors. Although this is a bit of a weird BMW, it's the first BMW Isetta, Isetta 250. So the Isetta 250 would have been powered by a 250cc single cylinder, more or less a motorcycle engine, which BMW still produces today, motorcycles. It's rear engine, rear wheel drive. This thing would have made around 12 horsepower, just 1, 2, 12. So amazingly, the thing is supposed to be able to go like over 50 miles per hour with such a small amount of power. It must probably take a long time to get there, though. Alright, so that's what I learned about this car. And let's just get the pick out and see what else we have here. So I've noticed a lot of different images of this car. So first, this is the first generation, which means the side windows are fixed. The second generation had sliding windows, which I'll show you a Shuko version of. But some of the images show short headlamp cowls, others show this longer one. And then the shaping of this is a little bit different. A lot of images show this being round. This would be the air vent to the engine, although Kyosho has no indication of the venting there. This little bump, I guess, is a little reflector or probably a turn signal. And then it's running these little stamp steel wheels with a hubcap, which I think Kyosho did a decent enough job. Pretty basic wheel on the real thing. I couldn't find many photos with just, two little bumperettes. A lot of them have a bumper going across here, so I don't know what running changes BMW made over the years, so I don't know what year this BMW is, but Kyosho put a nice roundel there, and then it's also printed Isetta. This is the door handle. This thing swings out like a regular house door, and so it always has a sunroof that is a second exit in case someone backs into your vehicle and you can't open the front door. So this is like a second door. Kyosho's got the nice clear headlights even on such a little model like this. It's got the black printing here around the window molding, and there's a little casted in and painted silver wiper blade here. It's just a little bit of a raised surface there. Alright, so this side, no real details here. Again, since the door's on the front, you don't need door cuts here. And then the back, we have this bump here, as I showed in the rear photo. That's a light for the license plate, which usually would be around there. And then, the tail lights there. This is supposed to be a roundel, but Kyosho seems to have skipped the printing there, which seems a little bit odd because other Kyoshos have the badge on the front and the back. So a little bit of laziness, I think, from Kyosho there. Although this was purchased used, it is possible someone took off that badge. I don't know why someone would. So I kind of think it's maybe Kyosho that missed out on that. So the little sunroof printing here is paint, it's not a decal or anything. And then we have a little separate chrome bumper here for the rear. And Kyosho states the scale, what it is, who made it. This is a press fit together base. Here's a little exhaust system detail. And this motor had a chain drive actually. So the motor is like here, and there's a chain drive going to the rear axle. You'll obviously see the tapering of this. Like a teardrop, so pretty good for aerodynamics, and that's probably why it got over 50 miles per hour. Okay, so it's a pretty funky little cool model, clearly not your typical BMW, but I like these tiny little weird vehicles. So let's compare it to a couple other models actually. And the first probably we should compare it to, actually I'm not going to set this thing spinning, because we should look at the Shuko, which is the more modern version. So I've done a review of this, but you'll see sliding windows here. That's the main difference. You'll also see the headlight cowls are much shorter. And these are actually floating out in space, whereas these ones are kind of blended into the body. So you'll also see the front bumper goes all the way across on the Shuko. So again, I'm not an Isetta expert. The Shuko just has a perfectly smooth, windshield, so that's just a printed on graphic. Whereas the Kyosho, it's actually less detailed, the printing, but it does have the raised bump there. It's funny, these things are so short, we can have a side-to-side comparison pretty easily. Alright. would say the Shuko's wheels are better because they're two-tone. You know, they're painted white and have a chrome center, like a hubcap. Whereas the Kyosho is just all chrome, so, you know, it's not as realistic. Let's see, rear-wise. I can't tilt this because it'll roll away. Although Shuko doesn't really have a rear BMW badge either. At least it's a silver circle. Kyosho doesn't have any of that. And then, well, it's just a different rear end entirely. And then this engine detail here. So this is, the Shuko has the more common engine cover that I see in most photographs. But I'm gonna still say Kyosho probably has this correct. It's just I couldn't find photos of this particular Isetta. And then, well, I guess that's it for those comparisons. I guess if you're really curious, here's the bottom. The Kyosho bottom is definitely more details if that stuff matters to you. For me, it doesn't really make a difference. I mean, I don't display my models upside down. But you will notice that the tire width is quite different. I would say the Shuko is probably more realistic. You know, if this thing only hit... This Shuko here is probably a 300cc. But, I mean, that's still a minuscule engine, so... You know, you don't need this much tire to put 300cc's of power down to the ground. Whereas the Kyosho would be more like a drag car. I mean, well, maybe not, but, you know... These are just much bigger tires than they would be necessary for something like this. So, okay. Yeah, we'll just leave both up there anyways. And then let's compare it to a couple larger vehicles. So let me get this thing spinning now. Sorry, I was grinding that monitor. So BMW, let's see, we have another Shuko. It's a 73 BMW 2002. Let's put that next to here. Look at the size difference, right? A microcar versus a normal one. We have this Mini GT Alpina. Boy, I forget what generation then. A30 or something, maybe BMW. So, okay. And a couple other small cars I'll just throw up here. This is a Daihatsu Midget, and that's by TLV. And this is a Greenlight branded Austin Mini of the first generation. Well, being an Austin, or maybe it's a Morris Mini, or a Mini Isetta. Alright, well, there you get an idea how small these Isettas are. I guess they're classified as microcars by most people, and hopefully that's self-explanatory. Okay. Alright, well, Kyosho again comes through with a really interesting, you know, casting. I appreciate them putting all these models out back whenever this thing came out. And I'll collect some more if I can find interesting castings. So, thanks for watching this. I'll see you the next time. Bye.